Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday evening at 5 Eastern, which means it's time for another DSLR video shooter live stream. Welcome back, everybody. We got a bunch of people already in the chat. Comment culture. Someone's name I can't pronounce because I can't read Arabic. I think that's what that is. Paul. We got the Duke, Andrew, Sean, Nolaji, Malachi, Jordan, and others. Welcome, everybody. I see Fur in there with his sexy blue badge. We got Wannabe. How's it going, guys? Oh, man. What a wild, wild time it is to be alive, huh? Let me pull up, make sure we got the chat nice and big here. Great. How are you guys doing? It's been something else. It has been something else. It's good to be back here in the studio and also to be producing content that hasn't been streamed on LTE or from a laptop. So yeah, good stuff. What do you guys think of all of this EOS R stuff? EOS, however you're supposed to say that. I probably should know. But yeah, it's been pretty dramatic since the camera was announced, and then I did my video this Tuesday, which brought on some interesting comments. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I have the camera. We're going to be testing it, and we just need to see if it's gonna cut it at all. And you know, people have been saying I've got paid from Canon, that I'm trying to make this thing look good, and it's actually complete poop. And I feel like that video I did pretty much tells people where I'm at with it. It's got serious problems. It's missing all kinds of stuff. But it's still a camera that has a flip out screen, dual focus, dual pixel autofocus, a log option, high data rates. And I didn't mention in the video, but it's actually, if we're pretending we're still in 2012, it's got great 1080p. So if that's your jam, then there's that. It's just crazy expensive considering what else is out there. And I haven't knocked it massively yet because I haven't tested it against other cameras. Really, the only hope for the EOS R is two things. Number one, if it can hold up image-wise with its already crippled specs, right? So if its crop 4K is really good and you can really push it and it's just phenomenal as a codec and as a file to grade, then it might survive. The second thing that will keep it alive is if Sony doesn't do anything drastic with the A7 III. If Sony comes out with the A7S III and it has a flip out screen and any way to do 10-bit, both Canon and Nikon are completely and utterly screwed. Completely and utterly screwed. Because the only thing really keeping this camera from completely and utterly bombing, and who knows, maybe it will completely bomb. We'll have to wait and see what sales look like or something, or Canon's third quarter or whatever. But really the only thing that's keeping this thing up and afloat and not dead completely is the fact that it has that flip out screen. But Sony, if they do the flip out screen thing, that probably alone would be the absolute end to the EOS R. And then if it also has a 10-bit option, that'll not only completely kill this camera, but it will also completely kill the Nikon camera. Because right now the only reason I'm interested in the Nikon Z6 mainly is that it's the only camera according to specs right now that does full frame 10-bit. That's it. So Sony with one camera release could, that hand that's coming from the ground, it's Canon, and you got Nikon over here, it could just stomp them out instantly. So that'll be really interesting, and that's supposed to be happening before too long. So we're going to have to wait and see. Yeah, and 10-bit, when I say that, I kind of mean 10-bit 422. But yeah. What's going on, Jordan? Welcome to Andrew Reed's bad side. I thought about not including that little part of that video, but several people had already mentioned it to me, and so I knew it was kind of out there, and I thought I'd throw that in there, and by doing so, unleash the the masses from his forum. All right, so we're checking out the chat. We already have a finding my button here, a donation from, wow, that's really loud, isn't it? AFROMAN Fro, 99 cents. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. If you have a question, hit me. And yeah, let's talk, guys. Lots of interesting stuff. We got that full frame Panasonic. Yeah, and with all these cameras, if I'm in the market, I'm waiting. I'm gonna make whatever I have work for me until pretty much until Panasonic announces that thing. I know that's not necessarily a smart thing for someone who makes a living off of this stuff to say, but that's exactly what I would do. I would totally wait for those. If you need something right now, you know, wait and see what's going. Wait for Jordan's video. I cannot wait. When is that going up, Jordan? Are you allowed to say? Because I'm very, very curious. I've been refreshing YouTube all day. Unless it's up, then I'll have to check it out. So yeah, everyone should go over to DP Review, subscribe if you haven't already, and wait for that video to drop, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. Yeah, Canon slow-mo, bad, and they should feel bad. Yeah, 720p is, and I find it silly that they still call it Full HD and HD. So on the spec sheet it says 120p in HD, but by that they mean 720. So they're still hanging on to the old school, like full frame or Full HD and HD. Can you talk about external audio if the camera does not have an input? So it does, external audio if a camera does not have an input. You got to record externally, which honestly I do, even though I use cameras that can record internally. So I think the best setup, and one that you should grow accustomed to using, especially if you're doing like corporate work or documentary stuff where it's impossible or ridiculously expensive to reshoot, set up a recorder, record audio there, run an output to your camera, and now you've got, you know, dual system and single system sound. And that's, you know, what I do, even though, you know, I film in the next room over, just to be safe. All right, let's just jump to the bottom of the chat. We have another donation from Spry End, £2. I think people are most upset about the price. Facts. Price better than the facts? Price and facts? Yeah, the price, when you consider what's out there, and again, it's going to get real ugly if Sony, you know, comes out with something. Or we see a more affordable camera that has a flip out screen. I mean, a lot is riding on that flip out screen. A lot hinges on it, if you will. What's up, Alan? One of our sponsors in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Scanning through the chat here. Yeah, what do you guys think of the Apple stuff? Anything interesting? I kind of missed like all of it. I think it was just phones and stuff. People are talking about Andrew Lead, John Brawley. Yeah, the whole Blackmagic drama with all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. Will you review the Fuji X-T3? Yeah, I pre-ordered it, and I cannot wait to check that camera out. I wish I was at that event. That would have been fun, because that looks like a pretty solid slam dunk from Fuji. And I'm really excited to see what those guys do. I'm just so confused by the decisions they make. I think it's great that they're doing what they're doing, but I do feel it's kind of odd that they come out with the XH1, then the XT3 with what the XT3 has. So, all right, I'm falling down on my job. All right, so we got that. We got that one. We got another $10. We're gonna upgrade you to medium donation. Woo! Eugenio, $10. Do you're awesome and honest. I want SDI in the Adamus Ninja 5 or Sony. Oh yeah. We're not going to get it on Sony on the smaller bodies. That would be insane, though, if they included that. But I pretty much guarantee that's not going to be a thing. And then the Ninja 5, I have a hard time seeing them not come out with a little attachment that pops on the back and gives you SDI. I feel like that would be a very logical roadmap decision. And even if they sold it for like $400, $500, I think it'd be smart and now they've got a product that's serving them on multiple, you know, levels, which is cool. This is an interesting question from Michael. Top video LED or panel for $500. So I'm going to be reviewing some brand new flexible LED lights that are budget friendly. Until that comes out and I fully test those, I would say the Falcon Eyes LED mats, man, they start at $176. I just looked at it today. They come in multiple different sizes, and I love those things. I think that's what I would do, unless you're looking for something really rugged, but they're pretty solid. And then stay tuned for that video on the flex lights. I was supposed to get that up tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen though, so yeah. Best video stabilizer gimbal for under $100. Probably ought to go ask Kitty over at Atola Visuals, because she's kind of the gimbal wizard. So I couldn't tell you. I don't use gimbals too much. Oh my goodness. Scrolling down here. My Mac doesn't have mic line in anymore. I would just go with external audio. Those work better anyway, like this Mackie board. Or can I reach it from here? No, I really can't. But I really enjoy the Mackie Black Jack. It's around $100. Or there's a $30 Behringer that I also I've used and works fine as like a little USB 3 external audio device. Ugh, Apple. I thought the little video at the beginning of their thing was kind of cute though. That was cool. Okay, Nolan, happy cleaning. What black magic drama? Go to EOS HD and feast your eyes. Andrew is so wrong. Good old shiz nuts. What's going on, brother? Kind of disappointed with the iPhone, except you can change your aperture in post with portrait mode. Okay. Apple Watch. Apple. Okay, people are kind of over Apple, it looks like. Scrolling down here. Hey man, happy to find your channel. What do you think about Vlog Theory, the YouTuber? Jewworks, Juoo or Joo? I don't know who that is. I'll have to check that person out. So yeah, thanks for the rec. I'll check him out. How do I get a Canon T3i on a budget? Craigslist or eBay? I like to find older, if I'm buying a bunch of older cameras and I'm really wanting to be cheap, look for broken stuff. A lot of them will have like a broken hot shoe, or like the flash is broken, which I don't care about, so I look for those if you're a video guy. Sony XLR K2M worth getting for the A7 III from Josh Line. And again, guys, the chat is jumping, so I'm doing my best to stay on target with where everything is. You could do that. What's nice with that is it's all one battery, which is great. If you want something that maybe sounds a little better and might be cheaper, there's a $150, I think, device from Beach Tech. It's called the Beach Tech DXA Micro Pro. So that's definitely worth checking out. Can we shoot low budget feature film on crop sensor like the T3i, or do you need full frame? You totally don't need full frame alone, Journey. Actually, most films are not filmed in full frame, so yeah, I would not stress about that at all. There's plenty of great cameras. I'm shooting this on Micro Four Thirds. Granted, this isn't a feature film by any means, but yeah. Scrolling down here. Best monitor for run and gun guerrilla documentary. If you're looking for something really strong, either the small HD stuff is pretty good. Some of the new Chinese stuff is pretty good from Feel World. They're coming out with like all metal enclosures and stuff. That's pretty solid. I'm going to take my headphones off. There's no reason for me to have those on. And if you're looking for something budget friendly, I've done some reviews on the channel you might want to check out. What's your pick for the best budget video lens with the best shallow depth of field for the EOS R? Which lens would you choose? Budget friendly. Give me a rundown on what you think of where your budget is. But I mean, the Canon 50mm 1.8 could be great. I just ordered that sucker. The new one looks really interesting for video, so we'll see. GH5 and less lenses. GH5 and less lenses, or G7 and better lenses. I would probably get a GH5 and a Panasonic lens, and then a bunch of vintage lenses. That's probably how I would go. So, you know, you can still get a decent number of lenses depending on your budget. You'll just have to go with something, sorry, I smacked my microphone, something, you know, a little more affordable there. I have a 5D Mark IV. Should I sell it and upgrade to the Canon EOS R? That's an interesting question. If you shoot video, I don't see why not, especially if you can make a buck, right? If you are a hybrid shooter and the whole dual card slot thing is a thing for you, then maybe hang on to it. But I would see what the going rate is for 5D Mark IV. And if you can essentially swap cameras and make some money, that could be pretty sweet. Just get an adapter, all your lenses are solid. What lenses speed booster would you get for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and does it have false color? I would imagine it has something like false color, at least zebras. Either of the Micro Four Thirds lens speed boosters would work. I've been playing with the 0.64, which is going to give you the maximum. So it depends on your budget. Jordan Drake, since there's no camera that can output RAW through HDMI and the Ninja 5 supports ProRes RAW, I think SDI attachment is inevitable. Hope it's cheap. Yeah, totally agree with you, man. Yeah, I wonder what they'll do with those attachments, if they're going to be kind of pricey and that's where they make up some extra margin, or if they're affordable, which would be super dope. Wonder if Adobe Premiere will support ProRes RAW. It's a good question. I would imagine at some point, but it's going to come down to Apple and, you know, whether or not they have to pay a hefty fee to use it, to license it. Oh my goodness. It has false color. Great. If I'm shooting something that has a lot of dynamic range, that isn't a lot of dynamic range needed, like an interview with a 3-point lighting setup, does it still make sense to shoot RAW? Would that be overkill? I think it would depend on the gig. If you're getting paid $50,000 to interview some celebrity, shoot RAW. You got nothing to lose, and you know, you need to make sure you have that. And if you're shooting, you know, a mom and pop non-profit video, then maybe not, you know, chew up so much data. So, I mean, so many of us got along just fine shooting on like the Canon 5D Mark II with very much not RAW, and we made it work. So it's just going to depend. Biggest issue was, regardless of how slighted he felt, he should have kept it quiet. Now, oh, we're talking about the Andrew Reid thing. And then we got a donation from Spry N, £5. I just wanted to drop a big thank you for your good content. The best thing I liked was every lens review you did. Cheers, by the way. Sam Yang for Landscape. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the kind words and for the donation. Cool. So you like the lens reviews? Yeah, we have some more of that once I get a bunch of stuff shot and out. Lenses all day, man. It's gonna be great. Sam Yang, I have no problem with that. I mean, I think that if you're talking about manual autofocus, I don't know if those are really cutting it for video, but for stills or for manual focus, yeah, those are great. Yeah, fully with you there on the TPCB. Good form, Spry. Is that your second donation, dude? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. You're going crazy, man. Thank you. Best monitor for run and gun. We covered that. You reckon Magic Lantern is good for the 6D? I don't see why not. I haven't really used it on anything other than the EOS M and the T2i from back in the day, or T3i. But yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do with this whole EOS R thing. Could be interesting. GH5 with less lenses, or we talked about that, dude. Stop yelling. All caps there in the chat. Connor, $10. Canon C100 Mark III. Do you think Canon might release one? I used the Mark II and absolutely loved it. I wish it had 10-bit or 1080 10-bit 422 internal, along with its low light, color science, and autofocus. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, what do you guys think? Canon has yet to release a Mark III Cinema EOS camera. They have their C200. Is the C200 the C100 Mark III? I don't know. It's a good question. I couldn't tell you, man. But I would expect we'll start seeing some interesting stuff from Canon. And that RF mount. I have a hard time seeing that not work its way over eventually. Z6 or EOS R. For me, iBiz on the Z6 makes me consider it. EOS R for that money. Without it, nah. Although flippy screen is nice. You're totally right there, T. Linson. I would probably go with the Z6. I mean, full frame 10-bit 4K. And you're right, iBiz. That's great. No flip out screen though, and we need to wait and see what the autofocus looks like. But I can't wait to try that camera. So yeah. Alex talking about false color. What's going on, Alex? Will we see a Canon cinema camera with an RF mount? Yeah, I think we will. I think Canon's just gonna drag this whole thing out. You know, again, like I talked about in my video, they want to protect their stuff. So they're not going to just RF mounts for everybody and all the new RF lenses, and why would you ever buy our old stuff? So they're going to take their time with that. Ultra wide angle lens recommendations. Love your channel. Thank you, Phone 7X7. The good old Tokina 11-16. I'm trying to find Jordan, if you're in here because you're a wizard. Do you know if that's any good with dual focus? Does anyone know if dual focus is good on the 11-16 2.8? Good wide angle. There's a couple good ones from Rokinon if you don't care for autofocus. If you're on Sony, the 10-18 is gold. Even on full frame, starting at 12 millimeters, it still works. Panasonic, I love that 7-14. And then the 14, well, you're talking about ultra wide, so that doesn't make sense. Hopefully that helps you out. And then Canon has a bunch of wide zooms. Bart's talking about the Canon XF705. Impressive specs. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. ProRes RAW coming up. Not on the channel here because we covered that. But if there's some new updates, I'll update the series. Got outbidded on eBay by 96 cents. I felt pain. Ouch. That sucks a lot. Any word you got? Magic Lantern SL2. Ooh, good question. I don't know. Let's see. You seen the pics on the camcorder? No, I have not seen the pictures. Thoughts on the XT3? Gold, man. APS-C 422 10-bit internal. I believe it's 422 10-bit. I know it's 10-bit internal. 120 HD. Autofocus looks improved. Their color science is gold, so I can't wait to play with that thing. And Adamus is just having a drink right now and celebrating, man. They're gonna sell so many of those little Ninja 5s. It's not even funny. They're gonna make a killing off of that. Scrolling down here. Any rumors about the Ninja 4K rumors or Ninja Star 4K? I don't know. Maybe they're saving that for 2019 NAB. Kinfinity Terra thoughts. I haven't shot on it. I'm super into the idea of other people than Red and all these other manufacturers making a camera. I know a lot of people love them. And you should check out my buddy Jem Schofield's channel. He is going to be working with those, I believe. I don't know if I should say that, but I think that's a thing. So, yeah, check out other people's channels. It's good stuff. I will say we're going to be ending the stream, not right now, but earlier than usual, because I'm going to be joining, you guys familiar with Armando from Moto Bytes? He's another YouTuber. He does tech, and he's really getting into more content on filmmaking and video gear. And we're going to be doing a live stream on his channel starting at what time? 5 p.m. Eastern, right? No, 6 p.m. Eastern. So, or maybe, I don't know. I'm confused. In, a little over 30 minutes, we're going to be over there. So I'm going to drop a link into the chat. Boom, there it is. Make sure you check that out because it's going to be me, Dave Altizer from Kinotika, of course, Armando, and maybe some other friends might drop in. So that should be pretty fun. We're going to be talking about the EOS R, but I would imagine we'll be just kicking it and having a good time. So I'd love to see you guys over there to give Armando a little support and to help us all work through all this stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoy roundtable type stuff. I want to do more of that here on the channel for live streams. So yeah, if you want to kind of go into the after show, make sure you check that out. Right, moving down into the comments here. What are you guys feeling? So I know a lot of people aren't into, first of all, if anyone's like gonna get an EOS R, I'd love to hear from you, not to publicly make a mess of it, but I'm just curious. And then also, if you're not getting an EOS R, what are you into right now? Is there any camera of all the stuff that's coming out? And we're not talking about, like, we're gonna, in this example, exclude the Panasonic full frame and the A7S III. Yeah. So what are you feeling right now? Fuji X-T2, Canon EOS R, A7 III, or what am I missing here? I think that's it, right? What do you guys feel out there? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let's see. Man, I've got to switch back to OBS here. Boop. Doing it bad. Today was rough on the you ever have those days where no matter how long you film, you never get the take, and then like by the end you're like, should I just reshoot this whole thing, and then the day's over? Today was one of those days. All the things I dropped, everything, just cables weren't being found. Just one of those fun ones. All right, I'm going down here trying to find my spot because the chat constantly hops around. We got a donation from Alex. Great channel with great information and insight. Kudos. Thank you, very, very kind of you and gracious of you, Alex. Thank you. I'm going to jump down here because I know we missed. Wait, did I see? There's Jordan. Got to go finish EOS R episode. Always a delight to enjoy your face-voice combination. Have a great one, Jordan. I cannot wait to watch your video. Yeah, I've got the bell rung. The notification bell has been rung. So I can't wait, dude. Have a great night. Has a full frame Panasonic been discussed yet? Maybe a little bit. I mean, it's hard to talk about it too much now, right? But dude, after all these cameras coming out, the GH5S is still one of my favorite. And if that gets moved to a full frame with better autofocus, dude, it's going to be so rich. So good. So yeah, I cannot wait to hear more about that. Dying to upgrade my 5D Mark III and been back and forth on which camera to upgrade for video. EOS R 5D4, C100 Mark II. I have invested a ton of money in Canon glass. Please help. All right, so I would say, what's your budget, first of all? And then, if you need a camera right now and you love your 5D4, I would probably, and if you're like, I got to do Canon, dude, I'm sorry, the EOS R is going to be a good option for you, especially if you're doing 1080p. So if you're still rocking the 1080p workflow, it's going to slide beautifully into that full frame 1080, high data rates. But dude, if I were you, and if you can hold on, I would hold on and get ready to start shedding those Canon lenses. Because, I mean, let's be honest for a second. I mean, not that I haven't been honest thus far, but let's look at Canon honestly here. Let's not do what a lot of us have done, which is like, oh, Canon's gonna come out with something for us someday. We, at this point, we can pretty much guarantee Canon's gonna keep doing what they're doing. It's just not gonna change unless they start really hurting. We're not gonna see attitudes changing over there. So with that knowledge, armed with that knowledge, we can pretty much guarantee that the next several RF cameras from them aren't gonna be great. Their tech seems behind their processors. So, I mean, just look at the trend. It keeps going like this when it comes to, you know, them giving us stuff we want / new tech. Why is it going to suddenly rebound, right? So, if you're heavily invested in Canon, unless you're willing to hold out for the long haul, I'm talking 5 years, I would start considering switching. Just because Sony and Panasonic it's an arms race. They're like America and Russia in the Cold War right now with how much they're doing in the video department. And Canon's just not there right now. So, yeah. Analog Things with a £5 donation. Thanks for the great content, Caleb. You've been one of my main sources for building up my own channel. Keep it up. You keep it up. And I'm going to have to check out your channel. Oh, no, I totally have seen your channel before, haven't I? Analog Things. Yes. I was watching a ton of your, like, Fuji film. Everyone should check out this dude's channel. It's pretty sweet if you're into, like, instant photography. It's good stuff. So, yeah, good job, sir. And wonderful beard you have. Respect. Caleb, do you play any instruments? Yes, I play guitar. There's one on the wall over there that's terribly out of tune. I haven't had much time recently to play. I'm sorely behind on chat, so I'm going to hop down a little bit. How is the internal stabilization on the EOS R? So, I wanted to get good footage while I was at the event and while we had an opportunity to film more than myself in a basement. So I didn't tweak too many settings. I just used what I knew would be the best. And then I figured I'd say that for later. I did play with it once, briefly. And from what I could tell, it worked well if you were just kind of like doing a standard handheld shot. So if you're like filming a guy cleaning the bottom of a boat or something on a beach, and you're just kind of doing that nice handheld sway, worked great. I didn't check too much, but it looked kind of like, you know, it struggled a little bit when you started moving a lot more than that. So I have to fully test that, so I can't truly tell you. But if you're, you know, rocking the handheld look, you're okay. But if you're doing this and then this and then this, you're going to have problems with rolling shutter, but also the stabilization. Dude, what are you doing over here? Due to all your donations, Mr. Spry, I'm going to give you the epic donation. 10 more pounds. You are welcome back. This is just a small amount. I wish I could do more. You put a lot of effort into your videos, so I feel like I should give something back. Oh, and Germany is watching you. Well, hey, man. I don't know why that thank you is so low. I appreciate that. That's really, really nice of you. Really kind of you. And thank you for staying up. Isn't it crazy late over there or something? So, yeah. Man, you're too good to me. Do you know if the low-end Canons have very bad HD? Canon 700D, for example. Because it was filming... What? I'm not sure what you mean by that. And I probably couldn't tell you because I really haven't used Canon's like newer APS-C cameras. Oh, man. I realize I'm quite behind. Mondo Bytes, not Modo. I'm sorry. Good call, Carlo. We talked about the full-frame Panasonic. New iPhone names are terrible. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with what fans want. However, I understand that it's hard to keep up, but successful folks will be the ones that can do this well. Apparently I'm missing some context, but that sounds good. Canon lenses hold their value. Really no reason to sell and hop brands. There's no reason to not sell in hot brands. Yeah, I would agree. Post color. Yeah. Canon not for video. How about my C100, C300, XA20? I mean, again, those are great for video. We're talking on the mirrorless, and that's where I will also give that to Canon. Their cinema EOS cameras are pretty solid. That C200 is everywhere, man. And the C300 Mark II is pretty much dominating a ton of productions. They're good cameras. And maybe that's Canon's thing, is they're just like, you know what? It's time for you all to pony up and stop messing around with these little bodies and move up to the big boy cameras. But I'm just thrilled that Panasonic and Sony and Fuji seem to be understanding that a lot of us want small bodies, you know, and someday as tech gets better and better and heat dissipation improves and all that stuff, we're gonna, you know, it's gonna be possible to have an EVA1 in the size of a 5D or a GH5, right? So why not? You can always build it up. You can only strip a camera down so far. So I love that we're all moving towards smaller and smaller. I mean, look at that EVA1. It's amazing what's going on in that thing. Granted, it's plasticky and people don't really dig it, aside from its image, which is incredible. But that's exciting. I didn't watch leaks. It was nothing new from Apple. I don't want small bodies. I want small lenses. Dang it. Gotcha. Well, unfortunately, there's only so much you can do on that front. I mean, there's a reason that new Canon 28-70 f2 is a beast and there's no in-body stabilization. I'm just scrolling up to see if I missed anything. DP Review has some new videos about the Nikon mirrorless autofocus. Oh, cool. Thanks, Alex. I'll check that out. Just went up a little bit in the chat, and I noticed Crilly HD. I burnt out on YouTube. Any tips on starting again? I would ask why you burnt out. Was it because you were doing too much content? Maybe then cut back a little bit and just do the thing you're most excited about each week or every other week. If you burned out because you're bored or you're tired of talking about the same thing, you might consider switching genres. Because if you're tired of something that you're hoping to be a full-time YouTuber talking about, that's a red flag. Or just take a break if you've been like pounding it. But usually some of those other things are a good thing to consider. All right, I'm all the way down, updated. GH5 form factor better than A6500. Yeah, and I'm not saying I want, you know, all future cameras to be this big, but I love the idea of like, in my mind, the perfect camera is like a sensor on a maybe A6500, maybe GH5 size that you can build up. Think of it kind of like how Red has their cameras configured. I think that's really cool. If we could get something that powerful, that small, could be pretty interesting. Like, imagine if Red made cameras that started at $1,000 to $2,000 for the brain, but it actually worked without accessories, and then you could build it up. I love that idea. So that could be kind of cool. Joe Jacobs with the $20 donation. Thanks for creating this forum. Wow, that was a lot more aggressive than I remembered. Thanks for creating this forum and for being you. Keep it up. Thank you, Joe. Very kind and generous of you, and thank you for the encouragement. Yeah, it's very appreciated, and yeah, it's always interesting when stuff like this whole Canon thing comes out, and you know, you got such polarizing comments going on. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, I appreciate it, dude. That's very kind of you. Man, and comment culture is in there with he's cheerleading all these donations. It's awesome. He says, good form, Joe. Okay, guys. Well, we are quickly approaching 5 o'clock my time here in the central lands of the United States. And in 20 minutes, we are going live over at Armando's channel. So once again, for those who don't know, I'm dropping a link right now in the chat. Boom, there it is. And I'm going to be heading over there, and I'm going to be chilling with Armando and Dave Altizer and maybe some other people. So definitely head over there. Say hi for me. Let's make this other stream a good after party. I'm going to go catch myself a beverage to prepare, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys over there. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, this is a pleasure. Maybe we'll have a better or a topic next week. Always love hanging out with you guys. For those who donated, you're all the best. And really everyone's the best here. I love you guys. You're good to me. So good to me. So with all that out of the way, I'll see you over at Armando's channel. Link in the comment section. Have a great evening otherwise, and we'll see you in the next video.